Hello and welcome to Wrestleopinionated. This is our weekly show all about the shows of AEW. We are your hosts. I am Morg and this is...
Triple Grey, Matt Strange. And this is that side.
Yeah, he did it right. Nice. 75 days still employed, Mo.
Ooh, fuck it. Jesus.
How's it going, guys?
Drawer. How are your steroids?
I am feeling pretty pumped. I'm 60% Brian Cage at the minute, so I'm doing good. Yeah, I feel like I could probably break a Volvo in half.
Bold claim. I'm on like 4 hours sleep plus a cheeky nap before being here, which is probably why I look like I go through your bins.
Quick hello to the guys in Twitch because we are now live on Twitch.
Ooh.
Right.
I'll draw a penis for you.
This might be the first time you've ever listened to our podcast or watched us on Twitch, and as such you would need to know that we have a tier list, which is how we explain the individual matches of Dynamite and Rampage and give our overall score. Over to you, Mr. Strange.
Letters. They make things have ratings, like stars and percentages and IMDb things. You know a good tier list. You've probably seen tiers. You've probably completed Resident Evil 2 in the 90s. Unless you're some kind of Zoomer scum. Fuck you. So, I don't mean that. D, lowest possible rank, the lowest letter. D is like my sleep pattern last night. It's shit. There's no story or dreams. Nobody is pleased with the end results. The time is wasted and you're just frustrated for the day afterwards. D rank matches. Is that coming up this week? Very possibly. I think so. C! Average. Good. You'll often hear a cynical C from us, like, oh, it's just a C. C is good. Not enough story, you care why the rest was there, the match was entertaining enough. You're a happy person. Maybe it's not caught all of the best of wrestling, but it's what you expect. B! Match plus 1. All of that shit before, but better. The story is a little bit better and cleaner. The match is cleaner and has a few more cool stuff. You don't look away. You're invested in what's happening after they've left the ring. The promo section really gets the wrestling over. And you might argue with people about it later. Hey, fucking phenomenal work. Great mic work. Great storytelling. Wonderful people going into the ring with a story as why they're there. And a story coming out. The match is beautiful, crisp, clean, with wonderful paradigm-breaking spots. I don't write a list of botches down about it, and you can tell your other wrestling friends who watch other promotions to watch this. It's lovely. S! What's in an S-rank match, anyone? That's right!
Ninjas.
Luchadors and ninjas.
Undead bikers.
Undead bikers, fucking evil clowns, Lance Catamaran, not just cinematic bullshit, if I'm honest. We've had some beautiful S-rank storytelling moments in promos, maybe we'll discuss that later. In other matches with more serious heart to them, the end of great feuds, and S is a moment which combines wrestling in a wonderful package of cinema grade, old cinema grade storytelling, and wonderful... beautiful action in the ring that you could send gifs off to your friends or use as meme reactions on Facebook. So, D, shitty, C, good, B, very good, A, awesome, S, amazing. Boom.
Thank you very much, Mr. Strange. Straight on to the news. Mr. Strange, what have you got for us?
Do you want to start with the big obvious one or the controversial news we can probably talk a little bit about?
Let's do the
good.
Okay.
Big one. Big brother Jeff going to AE Dubs. Woo woo. The dime drawer. There he goes. The Michaels. Sorry, Matt. I'm just sick of you. You're wonderful.
Have you noticed that Matt's getting more and more broken?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Did you notice what he was wearing this week? He was wearing his old Hardy Boys combat trousers. He wasn't in the suit. He was wearing a t-shirt and the Hardy Boys combat trousers.
I saw the t-shirt. I didn't notice the trousers.
He was in t-shirt on Rampage as well.
Yeah.
Which obviously I'll look forward to speeding through later. No, it should be good. I hope they don't overdo him. I hope the two of them are happy not to be pushed to the fucking moon and sit at the top of the tree, etc., etc. Adam Cole was not Rampage. Getting that out now. He was not it at all. Not there.
What I do want to say about the Hardys quickly, there's a lot of matches I'd quite like to see that we have. I don't think they've done Proud and Powerful. I don't think they've done FTR. Obviously, we're going to see them versus the drinking guys, Private Party.
Private
Party, and obviously Jurassic Express.
Guys.
I couldn't remember their name.
Arn and Tully.
And of course, Arn and Tully. Yeah, that would be, that would be amazing. So let's get to the controversial one, Strange.
So, Control Your Narrative is a new wrestling promotion that's been announced recently, started by Brog Strowman and EC3. They've got certain other names signed with them, like Austin Aries, who I don't know very well, but people seem to know the name, and a bunch of other random indie guys are looking at going to it to form a promotion without necessarily a millionaire's backing, or a promotion without necessarily dedicated story writing. Somewhere you can control your own narrative. Wonderful, you might say. Got a little bit of shit on Twitter, as it looks like a bunch of the guys who are going there might be the ones who got let go of their jobs from not being vaccinated for COVID. Which I think is a choice you should be allowed to make. So, that's regardless of what you think about people who are doing that, that's not a reason to shut down their whole promotion. And people were like, what are white guys in this promotion? And it's ever so twisted towards maybe they're right wing, which is something Twitter tends to do to people. They probably don't like their vaccines, which is okay. I'm not sold on entirely shitting on a group of people who just want to get together and some of them didn't have vaccines. If they want to start a little wrestling promotion, do their shit, cool.
At least they're gonna fuck themselves up. Just like, all right.
I don't even know if all of them aren't. It's all Killer Cross, Karrion Kross, whatever his name is. He was on the list as well.
Look, I am pro-vaccination, yada yada yada, whatever. Yeah. It is people's choice. You just can't expect if you choose not to that people aren't still going to shit on you. However, I'm not going to see the show. It's not a decision, and I could quite happily watch a good show that just happens to have people that aren't vaccinated in it from a fucking distance, like the internet.
I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say they're definitely not. As I said, there's a lot of alt-right posting about them because of the vaccines thing, and that connection is a bit weird to me because it always used to be hippies and no vaccines, but here we are. Obviously, if it turns out it is some kind of neo-Nazi rally, I'd like to apologise in advance for any of this. I've seen no real evidence, but safety first!
I mean, in all fairness, in this day and age anyway, just existing can get you called a fascist. So, let's wait to see what's actually said and done. You dirty fascists.
Right, let's move on. Moving on. Social media. Have you got anything for us this week, Mr. Strange?
Very little. Most of I intended to do a good scoop today and see what was going on, but then over the weekend, Russia invaded Ukraine. So a little bit quiet. Mostly the CYN thing, if I'm honest. That's been the big one amongst the wrestling community that I've seen. Kid Bandit's very popular, very big on Twitter. If you want to follow a incredibly progressive younger wrestler, have a look at Kid Bandit. Nice. Not sure what the pronouns are currently. Not going to sling that out there. So nice person. I'm learning. Look at me.
Right. I guess it's time to start our reviews, and we'll kick off as always with Dynamite. Excalibur, Schiavone and Jim Ross on commentary, and we open with the Tag Team Battle Royal, which Kyle O'Reilly wins for Red Dragon. Thoughts and scores, gentlemen?
Right, I don't know if Mo's had me review a clusterfuck rumbly thing yet. I'm not the biggest fan of them, Mo. I'm not the biggest fan. And it starts with a clusterfuck, obviously. Didn't see anybody chilling in the corner or standing outside the ring or lying down for too long, so that's a good sign for me. Not a lot of dead space for wrestlers just going. A bunch of comedy eliminations following the same, distracted by the hard cam spot, which I assume people like. I'm excited. Butch is back. Fucking love Big Butch. He's on my man crush. Quite like the part where Tony Schiavone said Santana was the only solo person from a tag team left in the ring when Trent and Silver were both still in there. 1/3 of the ring was individual wrestlers. Then it got down to the point where a few miscommunications made it feel a bit clumsy, and that tag team clusterfuckiness wasn't defending it anymore. Didn't expect Bobby Fish to go out so early as my favourite person that has come from NXT. I love his little Victorian moustache. He went out fairly soon. Breaks down to singles. Still felt a little bit weird to me. The Santana and Trent face-off was deservedly cheered, though, because they've got back plot as well, Mo. And
I actually went and watched snippets, like a little breakdown of that, because someone had put one up on the tubes.
And they're both super powerful wrestlers. Imagine them as a team. We got Silver's Pizza Boy fucking F5, which is always great. He probably spins them through the air. Dragons and Bucks shenanigans. Kel Surprise. Not my thing. I was mostly entertained. I gave it a C. Not my kind of match. A lot of... Welcome to our podcast where I do hand actions.
Jazz hands. I did not enjoy this too much. I'm also not a huge fan. Like, I'm a Rumble fan. Like, I love the Royal Rumble, blah, blah, blah. I hate everyone is in the ring to start the Battle Royales side of stuff. I find it really disconnecting, especially when, there was a couple of bits where, and I'm not putting this on any of the guys, because when you're in that situation, it must be extremely difficult anyway. But, like, there was a bit, I think it was Santana or Ortiz, I can't remember. They were obviously waiting for their spot, and one of them, like, came up to someone from behind, like, blatantly on camera, and was like, oh, no, now's not the time. I'll just leave the guy that stood in the middle of the ring doing nothing. I just go and hold on to this guy for a bit. And it was like, it's all that side of stuff that I hate these. Like, I'm already on a slight negative for it. If I love, like, if it was like a gauntlet style one or whatever, I really love that. Or more like a Rumble when they all pile down. There was just so many weird little disconnects for me. The whole Bobby Fish crawling around on the outside of the ring for ages, blatantly on camera, getting caught multiple times. At one point, there was a cameraman stood next to him, pointed the camera down at him. The camera wasn't on as such, but the ref was like, no. Not him, don't look at him. He's got something coming up, ignore him. It's all these little... It was not...
Give it, Mo.
I gave it a low C. But there were some really nice bits in it. There were some lovely, lovely bits. I'm all for Silver. Like, he makes me smile like anything whenever he's doing stuff. But I couldn't get drawn in just because of how it started.
Morg likes a clusterfuck better than me.
So I don't normally like a Battle Royal, and I've said this repeatedly on the podcast. I'm not a big fan of a Battle Royal. But again, I don't mind these tag team ones. They've done all right. Usually AEW does okay. I gave it a C because I didn't hate it, and it's a Battle Royal. It's that simple. So, following on from this, Hangman comes out and attacks Red Dragon. Cole jumps Paige, but Paige catches him, and then we have a Hangman in-ring promo. What did you guys think specifically of the promo?
I don't know if I like this more because of how much Hangman shat on Adam Cole. So I didn't really get Hangman coming out. I was like, oh, okay, Hangman's here then. And then he did the Who Wants Story Time with Hangman Page Baby, and I was like, yes, he is mocking him. And he's getting his mic skills that a champ should have. Like, not that he hasn't always been a great actor, but as I've said, he's floundered a bit as a champion. He's not sucked, but he needs somebody to go up against. Unfortunately, Adam Cole is a twat, and I hate him. I liked it. I liked him mocking him. I gave it a high C. I'd be willing to roll into a B, but I thought that could just be how much I hate Adam Cole coming through in my rankings. So,
that's fair. I mean, I gave it 2 scores. I gave it an increase in score specifically because they are really actually making him look like a champ now. He came across as a champ during this. I gave it a high C. So I felt like what was actually going on was a C. It was all right. It was. I am probably more than you looking forward to seeing where it's going, because I think it could be quite an interesting match. But I gave it the high C because he actually looked like a champ. He got attacked by Red Dragon last week, right? That's why he came down to give them a shoe-in. Yeah. So, but yeah, high C for me.
I really enjoyed this promo. I gave it a B.
Oh.
I thought it was really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm
going to be positive, and I'm going to go with Morg.
It was a great babyface promo. It was the night of great babyface promos this night.
Not wrong.
Yeah. Right. Moving on. Bryan Danielson backstage interview.
He put over Garcia so much.
Yeah.
Just that. I'm not going to rank it. It was so short, such a thing. It was just a match now. But he put over little Garcia so much.
He is, yeah.
And obviously I'm popping like fuck for Cobra Bry. Thank you, fan. I saw that from.
Right. MJF in-ring promo. I've got down here Punk comes out, but I think that's irrelevant. We can discuss that. But yeah, it's MJF in-ring promo. Thoughts and scores, Mr. Strange.
It was at this point I realised that the copy I was watching had all the intros cut out. Because it was like, suddenly he's in the ring. But anyway, I then watched the proper version. MJF looking a little timid. Oh, those theatre classes really paid off for him, and the boy is a little theatre boy. Also, people shared tweets about this, actually, a little tie back to social media, saying that everything he stated was true, because you can see his tweets from when he quit uni and went back to be a wrestler and stuff. I was worried if I was just being double worked for this, and I think I am still being double worked, which is the sign of actually good storyline. Thanks, AEW. I'd say it's weird if I didn't know the character. Long, obviously, but had a lot of character development. I liked it. Punk comes out wearing a Save Ferris shirt. Good lad. Saw them live a couple of years back. Yeah, weird, but I liked it. I'm still hoping MJF's going for his fourth heel turn without ever being face. I gave it a high B. I thought it was really good story work. I liked the sort of just weird face off at the end and the awkwardness. I like the idea of the toxic self-righteous fan becoming using that as his vindication for what he is. Yeah, good. Very good. Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we all, I don't know anyone that bloody wouldn't. It was great. Obviously, for me, this is the first sort of snifter of face potential since I started watching. I know. I can already see, because I literally spent the entire time going, and where's the aha? And where's the aha? He did do an aha, and I love it. And I was just drawn in instantly. It felt, like you said, I didn't go searching through his social media because I'm not a weird creep. But if you say it was real, it felt real. And that was what was great about it. Everything came across perfectly for that situation. I gave it an A, not a super duper S, because I didn't see anyone flying or doing magic or anything like that.
Clowns.
But I am invested, and I loved when Punk was coming down going, is it real? Like, even Punk coming across going, look, is this real? Are you being legit? Even that felt legit at the same time. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
So, yeah, all the way through. Oh, we've lost Mo. Oh, he's back.
Hey.
All the way through this, I was waiting for the aha. And then when Punk came out, I was waiting for it, and I was waiting for it. And I thought for a moment when Punk came out and the way he was looking at him, are they going for some kind of weird sort of pipe bomb? Punk comes out and goes, you weren't supposed to talk about that kind of thing, you know, and we weren't supposed to bring that in. What I watched was a phenomenal... Now, I gave it an S on the second. I thought this was absolutely phenomenal. And it was raging against CM Punk. you know. And you know what a punk mark I am. But God, this was good. This was so real. This was the best babyface promo I have seen in years. Now, I don't know whether it deserves an S. Because an S-based promo is the pipe bomb, Austin 316, cream of the crop. Yeah. Those are the S rank promos that you get when and it launches something. And I don't know if MJF was turning face at this moment with that. If that was happening, this would have been the S rank promo. I'm going to stick with my score, but I don't know whether it truly deserves to live in that legendary promo. I'm sticking with score just because of how good. And we keep saying Hangman's the best actor in AEW.
Well,
not anymore, you're not.
What we can do is we can post-date this scoring, right, until after Revolution.
So, following on from there, Daniel Garcia and 2.0 promo. Basically, the follow-on from Brian.
The only thing I care about is how much big dimes cocaine energy Matt's got. God, he's great. I love him. As a man who watched 80s wrestling and when I can do this without coke. Let's go. Otherwise, yes, skippable.
So, following on from that, Kings of the Black Throne versus Pac and Penta Dark. That's what I'm calling him. It was Penta Dark with Alex Abrahantes. Penta wins with a roll-up. We'll leave that there with the win, and we'll talk about what happened afterwards. What do you think of the match, and what scores did you give it?
Penta win?
Yeah, Penta wins with a roll-up.
I think I was just mad at how much shit he got kicked out of him. I was really excited for Penta Obscuro, which does translate to a Penta Dark, so good work. I popped like shit when he came out. I wrote down an S for his fucking entrance. If he's gone back to old Lucha Underground, where now he's just going to start jumping out and beat people with chairs and being a dick, I'm so happy. My first note is actually as Pac walks down to the ring, probably my other favourite wrestler in AEW. Little beautiful sculpted northern dwarven D&D dwarf king that he is. I always think to myself, Vince wanted to give this man a Mighty Mouse gimmick. That's because he's got big ears. Every time you see that, think of that. Anyway, match opens with a hot assault. It takes a little while before it remembers it's a tag match, and then it goes straight into picture-in-picture at that point, so Pac can just eat shit. Pac ate a lot of shit. Break ends, and we actually get a bit of a match breaking out, which is nice. Oh god, I've just remembered it. It's in my notes. It's now my second favourite ludicrous thing that Penta has done. Pac was chopped off Penta's shoulders into a poison rana. I watched twice and laughed at it. I don't know if that's good or bad, but I'm entertained. It's not as good as when Penta accidentally Canadian destroyed Phoenix, which is the worst thing I've seen in wrestling. A pretty badass and fast match happened, and it ended. You see? It was interesting. I don't know if that was just Penta hype. Very short, mostly Pac ate shit. I can't stop laughing at the chop into a poison run. That happened.
I literally just put, what the fuck was that chop thing? Question mark. That was my question to you guys. Thanks for the answer. Yeah, it was a bit random. My first thought when Penta come out was, why the fuck has he come out with Death from Bill and Ted 2? The bogus journey? Bogus adventure.
Penta.
We just said that we want Alex to come and play a lich for us at an event now.
LARP things, non-nerd watchers. LARP things.
Nerd watchers, just a different nerd watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little disappointed, right? Because you gave a little bit of hype, 2 weeks ago now, because obviously I wasn't here last time, saying, is he going to come in as Penta Dark? Like, and you boys were fucking 100% correct. He didn't really do anything. He kind of got the shit kicked out of him, much like Pac. Hey, they made the Kings of the Black Throne. They made him look like a fucking absolute fucking.
Oh, they've needed that. They've not been winning entirely on pretty much everything we've seen forever. They needed that win over the return of Super Penta.
Yeah, it was just a bit. I don't know. Penta going dark did nothing.
Right. I'll tell you what I want, Mo. I'm going to take a little side story. Back in Lucha Underground, there was a man called Mil Muertes, the man of 1,000 deaths, as it means in Spanish, who was essentially the massive, somewhere between Kane and Undertaker in one. Ludicrous. Oh, God, he's gone. Back.
Fucking thing. Sorry.
So, Mil fucks up a title shot for Penta. Penta goes, I'm going to ruin you. And one of my favourite ones was, it's a big Royal Rumble thing, and Mil's walking down to the Royal Rumble. Penta's not in this Royal Rumble. At which point, a man sat to the side in the crowd wearing a Penta mask, pulls off his Penta mask to reveal another Penta mask. That's right, it's Penta. Wails in with a chair for like 10 minutes. Just leaves. That's what I want. The man is like, yeah, fair play. You're doing this. Cop some chair. Not in this match, no. Bye. He was just an unapologetic prick all of the time, and it was wonderful. Magically.
I'll be up for that. Yeah. I'll be up for that.
We'll have to do a Lucha Underground watch along at some point. So yeah, I gave it a C. I very nearly gave it a D because of the way they treated Penta. It just felt like you did this thing. You went, we're going to do Penta Dark, and we went, yes. And then you went, and it's generally just Penta who's not actually quite as good. I don't think doing this, I think it was too early to do this against the Kings of the Black Throne. This should have been the payoff victory.
Get a little bit angrier in a minute, because obviously this wasn't even Penta's comeback. This was Penta's comeback, so we could have the other WWE friends.
Kings then beat down on Pac and Penta, and Buddy Matthews debuts.
Terrible punches from Brody. Some terrible ground punches from Brody. Then Buddy Matthews comes in. He's got his continuity story with Malachi, which is nice. I'm sure a lot of people who saw their story cut short are very excited about that. But he's also a baddie. My last note is just cool entrance, Penta. Good work. I imagine this is a lot more exciting for people who've been into the previous plot of the two. For me, I was like, I did say we needed more factions, but I was hoping we'd bring together wrestlers we had into factions so they'd get used. It was done well.
Yeah.
If you don't like Penta.
Well, yeah, there is that. I kind of enjoyed it, but they've weirdly already set up the potential of the breakup. Because Malachi was like, smash him, and then there was this weird little thing where Buddy Matthews, gonna have to remember that, kind of hesitated, and they even mentioned it on commentary. So it was like, yes, there's the third person, blah, 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 and there's already tension? What? That doesn't... What? Like, I'm a little bit confused by that part of it. But he looks fucking good. He looks even better than he did before. Like, he is fucking hench and ripped, and yeah, I think he looks fucking amazing. There's a little bit of my backseat homosexuality coming out there.
Alright, Butcher's back. You'll get that from me soon.
Legit. Oh yeah. Yeah. I actually gave this a B, by the way. I liked this bit of it. I really enjoyed it. A, because, like you said, I know the past and all that with them. I'm very interested. Very interested.
It was alright. I don't really know anything about Buddy Matthews or Buddy Murphy. I remember him being in NXT or there and thereabouts. So
he
to me,
he's Mysterio's 18-year-old daughter.
Okay. Again,
that was a storyline I'd like to point out.
But yeah, it's just I'm interested to see what he does because I don't know anything about him. To me, he's just an indie guy turning up. He doesn't feel like a Dub Z guy because I don't think they did anything with him of any note. Moving on from there, we had a Britain Thunder promo package. I've just said it's good.
Yeah.
Following on from that, Eddie and Jericho in-ring segment. Thoughts and scores.
Ready. A lot of people on the internet like this a lot more than I did. Not to say I didn't enjoy it. Eddie calling for the two women to have the spot. He called for Statlander and one of the ladies of Dark. I thought was actually a really nice little moment. And there was some sports entertainment cheap pops from Eddie back at Jericho, which was nice. Great shit talking from Jericho. He's doing that thing where he's making himself the heel. Because weirdly, I don't think Eddie was as on form as he can be in this one. Strange for me. What's his name? Referring to Cody was a bit fucking brutal. I was like, oof. We had some good healing. Eddie's comeback was a little weak for me. The father failure lines were fucking brutal from Jericho. I was like, Jesus shit. Weird energies. Could have been a bit shorter. Didn't like the fact that Jericho said babyface. I bitched about this with Cody. I'm going to bitch about it with Jericho. I don't mind pop. I don't mind over. I don't mind things that you would know. But, you've come in to be a goodie. Crosses my cornet line in my soul, which isn't a very big line, but it is there. Give me X Jericho me. Oh yeah, give me this Jericho, give me that Jericho, that was wonderful, and don't give me any bollocks match I like, because Jericho does the Mimosa match still not the best idea in my opinion. I gave it a low B because I thought it was interesting. I thought it was well done. I don't think it crossed higher than that. It was a little bit repetitive. Also, they didn't talk about Santana and Ortiz at all, which was the entire point of the feud. They could have mentioned that somewhere.
Yeah, the only time they mentioned it was actually the commentators when someone walking down the ring or something. I remember someone. I might actually no. Actually, that may have been bloody Rampage. Might not have even been that point. Actually, thinking about it, I only wrote down a couple of things here. And not necessarily for great reasons. Like I was so drawn in. I was fully expecting a lot more because of how everyone talks about Eddie Kingston, and I've only seen a few bits. I've gone back and watched a bit, which were a hell of a lot better than this. Jericho was just continually repeating the same stuff. His felt very like, I have written 10 things, and these are the 10 things I will say, and if this stretches longer, I will still keep saying these 10 things until the time is over. There was some great bits in it, and there was just some, bits that took away from it. I gave it a high C still. It was still good.
Close.
We're
close.
Yeah, it was still good. I just wanted more. That was all, really.
Decidio,
I just gave it a straight B. I thought it was a great promo. Eddie wasn't as on form. I think if Eddie had been on form, this would have been an A. We have two standard B promo guys. If this is your first time listening, there's certain people that Strange and I have been listening for ages as what we consider to be B promos. It's very rare that when they cut a promo, they don't hit a B. So it got a B because I didn't get the A I expected from the two of them.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Yeah. Following on from that, we had an AHFO promo. Any thoughts?
And they coexist.
No.
There was weird music playing over this, and we're getting a trios match. Let's move on.
We're getting a trios match. Maybe we'll get a trios title.
Let's get a women's tag first.
Right, Taz joins commentary. Ricky Starks with Hobbs versus 10. This is a Face of the Revolution qualifying match. Starks wins with a spear. Thoughts and scores.
Before we get through this, I'd like to say that although it's changing a little bit now, the lineup at this point for the ladder match was the best fucking ladder match lineup I've ever seen. Wardlow, Hobbs, just people who don't climb ladders. You know what I mean? Part of me wanted 10 to win. I prefer Starks, just so the entire ladder match would be people going, what do? Anyway, standard wrestling match. Fox got him some heel control and got to be himself in picture-in-picture, doing his lovely twatty body language stuff. All the reason I love Starks. Ten Senzu being kicks in with perfect timing as the break ends for him to get some punishment back on Stark. I know it's a real wrestling move. I know it's actually used in real combat. I know the full Nelson is basically being like crucified in active time, and it does force the air out of your lungs, and it works in real wrestling. But fuck, does it make me laugh every time somebody does it. Just ragdolling a little man around. I can't take it seriously. Then Starks won with a spear. Don't get me wrong, he's got a very good spear. It's not his finisher. It came a bit out of nowhere. Gave it a C. Good story, entertaining enough, nice filler match, bit of a pace break. Some people feel bad for 10. I'm sure if 10 had the mic skills to be in the top card, he would be by now, from the look of him. Hey, solid wrestling. A little bit sad it's not 10 for the ladder climbing, though.
I 100% agree. I genuinely thought they were going to go with big horse ladder match. I was so up for that. I was going to call it the cherry picker match because it's the only way to get half of them high enough. Yeah, you have to use some electrical mechanical shit. I enjoyed the match. Like, I do think the right person won realistically for what the ladder match should be, which isn't just big men. Add in like Rick Starks and etc. in, or just some more athletic guys will make it far more entertaining than just big lads. So I do think the right guy won, but I really want to see more of number 10. He's got the right look. He really does.
He needs to see more of Starks.
Oh no! I'm massively on Starks, massively, and just him on commentary on Rampage all the time is brilliant. I am very much on board for him, very much. You don't have to win me over with him at all. I haven't seen really much of 10 other than last week. I think the week before they did a few bits where he was chucking security guards and all that sort of stuff to set up for how massive he is. But I mean, I just gave it a C. I'm waffling.
I gave it a low C. I just didn't really grab me very much. And I think I partially wanted 10 to win as well. I think another part. Though I will say, you were saying about a Hoss match. Who's the three we've got? Wardlow. He's he's a big guy who can fly. Hobbs. I don't know if Hobbs is a big guy that can fly. And Keith Lee is a big guy that can fly. So, you've got at least two of them have got... The only other person you need is Brian Cage, believe it or not, because he can fly around the ring.
Well, his contract's been renewed, so he's not to the other lands.
Interesting.
Yeah. Everybody thought he'd show up and control your narrative.
Quick comment from Twitch, because we've actually got some chat going on the Twitch. Mack and Saggart, a good spear is great, though, and it's a very visual move to come out of the blue. Yeah.
And he's a great spear.
Totally agree.
Phenomenal. His and Trent's.
But it's
outside the ring.
It's still a C. So following on from that, we had a Red Dragon, Adam Cole, and Buck's backstage segment.
This didn't make me angry. Didn't get angry about this. Mostly because I wasn't giving a shit about Adam Cole. I let it fly past me. This solidified Red Dragon as sort of friendly twats who lightly bully people, and I'm remarkably down for their gimmick of just being like patronising and lightly prickish. So whereas I just ignored the Adam Cole side, it made me quite like Red Dragon. So I'll let you guys rate it based off me not spitting on the ground at the sight of Adam Cole.
I just gave it a C. It was all right. It's setting up another thing for me. It's not. It was nice, but it wasn't spectacular.
I wouldn't let it sully the overall score. It's a C, but it was just wrestling.
Yeah, standard filler.
Then we had...
Oh no.
Are you ready to watch somebody else rage? Jade Cargill versus the Bunny. Jade with Smart Mark Sterling. one thing I want to say about this, there's lots of hinting in this about a Jade Cargill face turn. Is it me, or was she pretty much playing the face in this? Because I have no idea. Jade wins with Jaded, and then cuts an in-ring promo, and Ty Conti comes to call her out. Thoughts and scores. Should we do Mo first?
No, because I've written at the end of my notes that Mo has to rate it. I don't put ranks anymore on these. I go, Mo has to do it afterwards. Also, I want to watch his face as I go through the match. We get no entrance for Bunny. Strong F in the starts for her, straight into the grave. And I really hope the more experienced Bunny would be able to help carry Jade to a better match, like Hook's first match against Fuego, where Fuego threw himself about to make him really... I was hoping that this would be the time where somebody could really put... the last few matches against inexperienced wrestlers, you can't expect somebody who's basically a rookie herself to carry an experienced wrestler, but you can count on the stable hand of women's indie wrestling from Ring of Honor and Impact, tag team partner with Rosemary, the Bunny. No. Matt Hardy came out to shout at Mark for a point, so they could keep attention off the Bunny heel control of Jade, I guess. Jade's come back for us before the break ended, and we had some low chemistry exchanges. Both males calls a cheat off, which had nothing. Thank you, additional males at the ring. Really added a lot, Matt Hardy. And then there was like an alright exchange for 30 seconds for the finish. The last 30 seconds was pretty good. Oh!
So, I am going to remain calm throughout this entire exchange. No, fuck it, I can't. She fucking lost. She fucking lost that match. What the actual fuck? Literally, if the ref didn't stop counting for no reason whatsoever, the Bunny has just won. How they're going to fucking play that off, I have no fucking idea. And I think what they should do is not play it off. They should just give her the title. Let her just go with it. It's all fine now. Like, you could be green with envy. That's what you can be green with, Jade. Not money. Because she ain't getting none of my fucking money. Jesus fucking wept. That was atrocious. I'm a little disappointed with Bunny. A little. But I do genuinely think there is only so much you can do to make that better. They had obviously gone the first 30 seconds, we're going to do this sort of exchange. And they had some arm locks, a little bit attempting to do wrestling. And then it just spiraled into more clusterfucks than I'd like to fucking say. Matt Hardy came out for the save, and by that I mean they took the camera off Jade Cargill for a little bit for me to get a bit of a palate cleanse. And even I was sat here thinking, I feel really, really, really bad for women's wrestling that they've had to put this in to make it more palatable. Because what the fuck? I had a thought during this, right? And this may just be me being harsh, and it probably is. So, back in Attitude Era, right? So the divas, before they were ladies, right? They got brought in because of their looks, not because of their ability. Are we seeing a resurgence of this? However,
with strong women, I get it's a different.
But with athletically prowess.
She is a media piece. That's the reason Jade is where she is. She is a phenomenal looking athlete. She's in great shape. Not just an attractive lady, but...
And she is getting better. I will say that. It's getting better. It's just she can get better off of the screen for a while and then come back and do something really good.
Wardlow and 10 are only really starting to get their proper push now, and the women's demographic was recorded as going up by like 10% when Wardlow was on screen. And even they went, we should hold him back until he's got a few more mics. Yeah, I'm with you. They did make a belt for her. She does look great. Look at a poster. Watch the wrestling. Storm's here.
I have graded this higher than last time. This is just a low C for me because, hey, it was still terrible.
You can't have a terrible in C.
But you can when it wasn't as terrible as the last one.
No, it's getting unless
Morg
can save it.
Fine.
As the rank master,
I gave it a low C. It was alright. It was a wrestling match. It just wasn't. It was weird because Jade was playing the face and actually playing the face. Which I know that her push-up thing's getting over. Great. All good heels should have a thing that they're over for. In MJF's case, it's just for being a twat. But, you know, you should have a thing that's over with the crowd, ready for your face turn. Like, the acclaimed have arrived thing. That will get over, and when they turn face, that'll be the big thing. Yeah, you should have a thing. But, yeah, it was a low. It was a low C. It was all right. You were right originally. It was okay. It was a low C. It wasn't special.
I wonder, you're saying about the face thing. I'm wondering whether they're going to try and hit that sort of not babyface, not heel.
I don't think they'll go tweener. I think they want to turn her because she is this. Because if the crowd are cheering her for something, brilliant. You can push her as a babyface. That's the big money. That's where Cena made the money. You know. But I think Britt's the better option for actually doing that, if you want the truth, because I think she's the better talker overall. Moving on.
A sec, I want to comment on the fact that we're going to get some fucking awful... So Tay comes out, she is super face at the moment, unless they're going to heel turn her for this thing. I like one of these ladies in the ring. Appreciate that Tay draws in a certain amount of dimes and dollars based off her appearance. Not my kind of lady to look at, if I was to judge them aesthetically for the purposes of wrestling. I appreciate Jade as a wonderful icon of how a woman can look like she'll tear you in half. Wonderful. Both suck at promos. It's gonna be... Is there women's match at Revolution? That video package for them, it's gonna be awful. And it's either gonna be Steiner awful, where it's secretly amazing and I will love it. And Steiner knows as well, he knows his art. Or it's just gonna be awful, and then we'll have an awful match. So I want you boys both to be prepared for that, like I am prepared for it.
Yeah.
So they did try and get over the who's next, because she's definitely Goldberg.
Yeah. I really don't know who defeats her. That's the problem. Ty would have been a good shot, but I think it's too soon. And she's already beaten Anna. Yeah. Moving on.
Please.
So then we had a Keith Lee backstage promo.
You gave this an A for a single reason.
Starks.
Hi there, Keith Lee. How
Starks
are you?
and Hobbs interrupt.
It's clear he knows Starks. He knows how to work with Starks. They'll probably have a good part in the match where they can face off against each other. Wonderful. But just Starks doing an impersonation of him broke me. So I gave it an A. I'm still laughing about... Hey, Keith. I've been doing it to Ruth around the house. So you guys can rank it, because I'm a untrustworthy reviewer at this point. See, wrestling.
It was wrestling. It was funny. It was...
Yeah,
but it...
Hey.
See wrestling.
I really, really hope you get that as like a ringtone or something.
Mate, I would love to.
So following on from that, we had Daniel Garcia versus Bryan Danielson. Danielson wins with the triangle sleeper. We'll move on to the bit afterwards because I think we'll mark them separately. What did you think of the match and what score did you give it?
I had a really good time with this match. I wouldn't say I had a great time with it, but I had a really good time with it. Did feel a little bit like... I don't know if you guys know the reputation of how rough Mr. Bryan can be in the ring. This match did feel a bit like, before he went out, like, Christian, famous Ribber, leant over to Garcia and was like, oh, play a bit rough with him, you know, he likes it like that, it'll be a good match. Because this didn't feel like a wrestling match, this felt like they were wrestling for a lot of it. Some of those kicks and some of those blows just fucking brutal. Nobody in that ring runs as fast as B-Dan. Like, I was watching him run the ropes, and there's three now kinds of people who run the ropes. People who know it hurts, and you see them, they run in, they tend to get a bit more of it. I was like, oh. when they get their long strides on. People who are giving it a good commit, and then B-Dan, who fucking hurls himself into those ropes and comes back like a fucking comet. I love him. You got limb work, so important in a technical match. Actually makes it feel technical. During their submissions, they were kicking each other in the head and stuff to make it extra brutal. All the stuff I fucking love. They've been a little bit longer, don't get me wrong, for my tastes. But we get an arrogant submission win. I don't have a lot of notes, because I was watching it. It's my kind of match. I was between a high C and a low B. Just enough story, just enough wrestling, just enough, this is a technical match, not particularly showy for those of you who prefer a little bit more indie flipper shitters. But for two indie men hurting each other, I was happy.
I really enjoyed this. Very, very much so. There was just little things, and I have no idea. I have probably seen it before, but I can't recollect. There was a bit where Garcia had Brian's leg around the ring post, and then he just started knuckling the quad. And that I love that. It's the weirdest move in the world. It probably just slightly annoyed the man that can kick concrete. But I loved it. Like, there was just little things on it. There was a bit where Brian suplexed Garcia over the ropes, and it looked like he may have shattered his hips. Like, it looked painful. But then most of this match were probably quite painful. The kicks he was receiving in his chest looked like they caved his chest in at one point. But Garcia looked really good. Brian really made him look good. And that's why I erred to low B. Because of how he came out at the end of this. Like, I think you can understand that what Daniel Bryan's doing. We discussed it 2 weeks ago. So, Bryan Danielson, apologies. He's coming in to make these younger guys look amazing, and it's fucking working. It really is.
He's rounded off with low B. Morg, go before he gets back. No more talking for low.
Sorry. Stable internets. You're muted.
Thank you.
Jesus
I'm
Christ,
Captain. I'm Captain. It's great. We've got like 9 viewers in Twitch for the first time ever, and we're having more technical difficulties than normal.
Thanks for joining.
I gave it just a straight B. It was a great match. It put
Go with Morg. I've rounded myself up.
Put Garcia over. Made him look brilliant. He's obviously a setup for Cobra Bry. I think he's a shoo-in. He's someone that he's also the right person for exactly what they want. Yeah, I gave it a B. So following on from that, we had...
Sorry, I'm just going to jump in. Sorry. Do you think, right, this is legitimately something that's going on in the background where Daniel Bryan's and maybe Mox, whoever's actually involved, where they're going, really like these long list of guys, let's get them into the ring, and then after them, the matches that I have with them, I will then decide who I want in my team?
I don't think that would be cool. I think if they told us that was the case, it wasn't. I think Brian and Mox are both professional enough to know that it's up to Tony Khan who goes in their team.
I know
he's the booker, but
I know he asks Dante Martin and Hook if he looks cool before he goes out, so I know he's been hanging around with those two at least. I'm still hoping. Very slight side story, which you two might not get. You might now more. Fuck it, whichever one you are. The person I want to step through the forbidden door the most, whilst he's on the subject, is I want to see B-Dan versus Zack Sabre Jr. in a technical wrestling match. It would be fucking beautiful. Right, we can go on with the show now.
You mean Zack Sabre Jr., Zack Sabre Jr., the left-wing vegan?
Screaming vegan noodle, yes, that's the one. The one who blamed his losing the G1 on Boris Johnson. That is the wrestler I want.
What?
It's Bryan Danielson's eco gimmick from Dubsy, but not. That's the thing.
Except
I'm
he's
not
a screeching, whiny prick, as opposed to like.
Right. So we then had a Bryan in-ring promo, 2.0 jump Bryan. Mox comes out for the save. Thoughts and scores. Anything else?
I love B-Dan doing his asking the crowd if the guy was violent enough. His gladiator. I don't know, something about it resonates with me. Obviously, 2.0 come out to beat him up, and that's Kel Surprise. It summons Moxley, Wild Thing. I'm excited for all of this, obviously, but I'm just going to give you some of the notes that came from my partner and I watching this. I do. Why is there sexual tension between two old men, she asked me. My response was, I don't know, but it's the best thing on the show. Kiss. Get married. What if we got married, Mox, and adopted 3 violent children? I love it. I'm going to keep it in the same solid B. I'm going to round these rankings together, but I love this little angry vegan goat man like you wouldn't believe. He's fucking wonderful.
Anything to add, Mo?
I don't think I need to add anything more than that. It was nice. The only thing I was hoping for a brief moment when Brian's holding the chair was when he was like, "You said we need to bleed together." I just thought they were going to exchange horrific Mankind v The Rock Royal Rumble headshots against each other for a small period of time.
Right. So, what is our final score?
Shit, that's where the show ended.
What's our final score, Mr. Strange?
We had some very good story, although things were weak and let us down. Some very good moments, some incredibly high acting. Who loves Jade? I think we're going to be in wrestling. Enough story in, enough story out. Some clean and crisp promo work and story work. I'm excited for where wrestling goes from here. Except for Jade, who can go into the bin.
Right,
please.
So before we move on, we're going to have a new bit here because I'm just going to quickly catch up on Twitch for you guys. So if someone isn't shouting gore after your spear, what is the point? A heart, a viper, and a unicorn walk into a bar. That one's only going to be relevant to some people. But promos are an art fun, and the trick is finding a wrestler who can do both. And then yes. Zack Sabre Jr. versus D-Ban I've been saying this for ages. Very much agree with that one. Mr. Legrand.
He wants to do the next G1.
So,
NJP Dub needs to be refreshed this year. It's been a bit stale for the last couple of years. Things fell apart. Fucking send Brian over and give me Naito. That's all I want.
Right. So quickly before we move into the Rampage review. A quick heads up for people in Twitch. After this, we'll be doing our questions segment. So if any of you have got questions you want to throw at us, now's the time to throw them into chat. I've already got one from Mac.
Rory. Hi, Rory.
So, it's that time, Mr. Strange. It's time when you take over.
My regular Rampage Raging review rundown. Okay, let's roll. Excalibur, Taz, and Jericho on comms. No Starks this week, and we go straight into Andrade with Sammy, and Sammy wins with his big cutter thingy, the springboard one. You know, you like it. Fast technical strikey start, some good stuff. Sammy mostly in control, which felt a little bit weird to me. You know, often put the heel over a little bit more if you're going to win. Matt Hardy came out because God knows we can't have a week without him either. Thank you, Adam Cole, for not appearing on Rampage. Andre gets all of 90 seconds of control for the break, and he did his cool over the ropes DDT thing, which is a sick move. He didn't get to do his slip moonsault off the corner, but that's a shame. There's a hockey fight thing that I don't like. Hardy took off a buckle with shenanigans so Andrade could go into it. What a surprise. A very okay match. Weird lack of chemistry. I gave it a C.
Oh, I enjoyed this a lot more than you then. I really genuinely enjoyed watching this match. I gave this a B. But this is I proper enjoyed this. But this is my first time in AEW seeing Andrade.
Look up some La Sombra.
He looks fucking amazing. And yeah, I'm not going to go too into it because this is the Rapid Rumble, whatever it is you said it was.
You fight me, Morg. Fighting. Got his mic off. That means no. Let's roll.
What am I fighting him for? It was a B. It was a low B. It was a low B. It was a really good match. I liked what happened afterwards. Matt Hardy jumping him, Darby and Sting for the save, which made sense because of having the three-way fight. Yeah. It was. I gave it a low B. I enjoyed it. I thought it was just a bit of fun.
Ranked. Fucking load of bullshit. Right, then anyway, QT came out to talk shit about Hook for a while. Not quite the badass energy I hoped for. He wants his credit. Oh, Hook doesn't have the balls to come out. Obviously he does. Beats up 3 of his students, refuses to elaborate, and leaves. Solid, if not needed. As a Hook mark, I'd like to possibly see him dealing with a cooler opponent than QT Marshall. I'm just throwing that out there. Men of the Year promo, good band. Scorpio hasn't been beaten in like a year apparently. I don't watch 700 Hours of Dark, sadly. He wants a title match. Boomer Boy's still back on form. I like the 3 of them. Ethan Page has a lovely smile, and Scorpio's guy is sex-shaped. Wardlow versus Comoroto. Wardlow wins with the Powerbomb Symphony. No entrances for anyone. I was never gonna get the Shingo versus Cobb I wanted from, but it's a step in the right direction. 2 meaty boys slapping meat. Wonderful. A good slam off. I felt a bit bad for Comoroto because I think a man who looks like he looks should be saved for some kind of winning streak at some point. I felt pretty bad they went straight into picture-in-picture, which was a nice, even exchange between the two. Nobody really felt like they were overwhelming the other in this match, which I liked. There was a fight over the powerbomb. Yeah, see? It was an alright wrestling match. I would like to see more meaty men slapping meat. Wardlow's getting better.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match. I felt bad for Comoroto as well, because I think it was an unnecessary... I know they were trying to put big man versus big man because look, he's beaten big man and so therefore he could beat more big men later on. Yeah. But he looks cool. He looks really fucking good.
I'd be really interested. Man in AEW from their bench press record. Well, there's a reason he does a military press with one hand.
Okay. Yeah, I gave it a high C. I think I liked it more than you, obviously. But...
It's nice to see some beat boys. Anything to add, Morg?
No, not really. My score was also a C. I gave it a low C. I didn't really, but it wasn't the big man match I wanted. And I'm not sure now as to whether or not I was being a bit unfair and whether it's actually a C, having listened to the 2 of you. And I think it was.
Right, okay, I'm taking
Let's get to the important bit.
We had some coexistence issues as Spears hits a court solo into Wardlow's face and then says, "Don't do the Powerbomb Symphony anymore." And the crowd booed and Wardlow pulled his face turn face. It was good. I'm excited for face Wardlow. Giga Chad bringing in the dimes and ever so slightly powering up my possible inner gayness. Just needs more of a beard. A little bit more Kurt Russell. Steve, 5 minutes first. Challenge versus Kayla Sparks. She wins with a Serenity Lock. It was just an annihilation this time and really boring. I gave it a D. I like the idea behind this.
It just got a C for being a segment. It's all about the one that turns up and goes the distance, or it's all about Shida turning up and kicking Deeb in the face.
That is what actually needs to happen.
Yeah. I gave it a D. I thought this was a squash, an unnecessary squash because of how they had previously done it. It felt like previously they had at least given a little bit of something to the person that she
to be honest, I don't think they're supposed to give anything. I thought this was probably better than the other ones because it's supposed to be all about her being the absolute professor of... She's their Bryan Danielson. She's the women's division's Bryan Danielson.
Save this for a discussion later because I think we could go back and forth on this one for a while. Anyway, Rosa and Britt signing their contract, something I've never really cared for in AEW, but they're sticking with it. It was more of a Cody thing in the past. Britt did some better shit talking. Took me a while to see where Rosa's chair was. It was in the back left corner. I thought they hadn't brought one. That was a bit arse. Then Hayter attacked Rosa. Then Martinez came out and helped Rosa. They're best friends now, I guess.
Why wouldn't they be best friends? It was only 3 weeks ago she smashed her in the face with a metal
pipe. Yeah, I was going to murder her or some shit.
Yeah, this isn't a fight. This is a murder.
This is one of those interesting things. It's like, oh, well, we're going to bring Mercedes in, or bring her in as heel. Why didn't you just bring her in as Thunder Rosa's partner, as her backup, to go against this other faction? Then there'd have been 2 of you. Then you could have had Diamante, and you could have had LAX Women's Division, and we could have... So I'm on this hype train at the minute for more factions in AEW, but more women's factions.
I'm going to disagree with you because one, I know that Diamante loves Santana and Ortiz, and they'll probably be in a LAX together with Eddie Kingston. And secondly, why can't we have multiple gender?
Well, I just they could do an LAX. They could. No, it isn't about that. Yes, we can have those, but one of the things it was. I stole it from a.
So I don't think Rosa's from the right area to be LAX.
Yeah, all right, but you know what I mean. You know, we can have.
Sorry, very quick one. It was nice this week that the ring bell table didn't get destroyed. It was just the signing table.
That'll be a 2 in our. That'll be a 2 in our counter that we don't have yet. That I've got to work out how to make.
Right, Mark Henry interviews Bowens and Orange Cassidy. Orange Cassidy was Orange Cassidy. They called him Ryan Gosling with scurvy. And I had a good laugh. It was alright. Straight into the match, Bowens versus Cassidy. Cassidy wins with the orange punch. Max had his very limited aim time raps where he can't be quite as offensive as on the other ones. But he did make a line about the best friends having no black people in it, which was a bit like, woo! Max eats a bump from Utah whilst we have some, Mike humor for Orange Cassidy and stuff. Some lols for the comedy wrestling fans amongst us. Match breaks out with Bowens leading, denying her the hands in the pocket spot, the usual Orange Cassidy eats some shit. Bowens gets to show his phenomenal repertoire of incredibly unique moves he's building. Orange Cassidy scissored him as well, which was nice, and does some buckle slams to get back in control. A lot of clever moves and counters, but I expect that from both of them. Orange Cassidy does the Michinoku driver, which is one of my favourite moves in wrestling. I fucking love a Michinoku driver. Bunch of Bowens cool shit, as I said. Danhausen curses Max so he can eat a big punch to stop additional shenanigans. And then Bowens receives a big punch and it's over. I gave it a high C. It was like a regular match, but I had a better time during it. But that's just because of how much I like everybody involved in it, basically.
I gave it a high C as well. Thought it was really great. Felt really bad for Wheeler Yuta, who did nothing other than make the clap for a very brief moment in time. It's nice to know officially that Orange Cassidy is a racist. That's facts now.
Thanks,
Max. AEW history has gone down. Yeah, that is my moment of the week. I really, really enjoyed this. I'm not going to waffle on for longer. I enjoyed watching it. High C.
Yeah, I gave it a high C as well. Great match. It was really good. Let's be fair. Wheeler Yuta was there for one reason: to get taken out so that Danhausen could turn up. It was literally that. As soon as Wheeler Yuta got taken out, me and the Raptor were yeah, so he's definitely coming in. They referenced him at the beginning. It was all about bringing out the Danhausen. But yeah, high C. Really enjoyed this match. Mr. Strange, overall scores.
Well, quite obviously a high C. I'd like to throw a bit more flair on my extra words. There was enough story, some cool matches. We had a meaty man, we had a wrestly one, and we had like a faster nippy one. Some comedy, good times, high C, enough story. Giving us an overall week rank of B. What a lovely week in wrestling. Lovely time. We've got character arcs, story. I didn't shout about Adam Cole. Mo did shout about Jade. Everything's looking good in the world of AEW wrestling.
So, well, it's time for Mo to be prepared because next week is a go-home show for a pay-per-view. No, Mo is looking all excited. You know how on Dub Z they actually can get that right and have a really good go-home show? Yeah, A-Dubs, I believe, since we've been reviewing this, we've had a C. I believe we've gave a D to a show that was a go-home show once.
Oh
yeah.
God.
They do all the work in advance, unfortunately.
Adam Cole wins the title. I'm not coming on that show.
I'll hit up TK. I'll make sure I'll let him know I'm watching to up it a bit.
Okay. So questions. No questions from the usual suppliers, but we do have a question from the Twitch chat. Do we believe that Jericho is still in fighting shape?
What fighting shape? There are different levels of fighting shape.
Right. I would say Jericho is still quite capable of going through a match. He's only botched his Lion Salt once, which is the way I'd look at it. I think the problem is for establishing his style as opposed to slowing down and being a bit more clever with what he does, maybe going into some more technical stuff, because he is obsessed with the flair. He's a fucking rock star. He does backflips and shit, you know. I think the problem is he's trying to cover up his weaknesses with meme matches, like the fool in a pool match or the blah 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 match, as opposed to actually just maybe calming his style down. He's got wider and older. He's what, 51, 52 now? You've got to adjust, and he's refusing to adjust. Still wants to go out and fight and be like the big over-the-top dude, and still there. Just bring it back to technical, and weirdly, there's an entire plot about it at the moment. Maybe let the younger stars shine a bit more in the matches you're in.
You referencing that, that's sort of where I thought this was going to go by the end of the sort of destruction, because he's still good. Like, he is still good. Let's face it. You know, but he isn't top tier anymore. You know, the matches that he puts on that are really good are normally because they have spots fests in there.
Doing better than Matt Hardy is.
Oh god, yeah, 100%. I think he can still go. He's not going to stop for a long time until he lands on his head from a lion salt. Let's face it.
Done it once. You missed it. It was before you started. It was really embarrassing.
I mean, he's done it a few times when he was young, so it's going to happen anyway. But Jesus, I still think he's got a while left in him. It's just like you say, he needs to be sensible. He needs to sort of pick the right structure to a match.
Yeah, I've said for years, Jericho, his in-ring style is one that is very conducive to having a long career. That's not to say he doesn't do anything exciting. It's just his style is relatively safe. Even his lion salt, his high impact moves are not the kind that are career shortening. Yeah, I think Jericho can still go, and I think he seems to have trimmed down again a little at the moment.
He's due a title. The more youthful he gets, a title tends to arrive. All titles take years off him, I've noticed.
Very true. So, yeah, there's the answer to that question. If you'd like to answer some questions, you can send them to wrestleopinionated@gmail.com, WrestleOP on Facebook, WrestleOP1 on Twitter, where you'll get a response from Mr. Strange. Oh, help you, you'll get a response from Mr. Strange.
I've been chatting on Twitter this week. I've had a couple of little exchanges. It's been quite pleasant.
I am awaiting somebody to start telling you how great Adam Cole is, though.
I'm looking forward to going on as my handle, Adam Cole 009281.
I'm actually going to be nice. I'm going to take a quick side thing here before we continue this. There have been defences of Adam Cole against body shaming on Twitter this week. Many people have said he doesn't look like a champion, he's not very fit, he's a very noodly man. This is something I said in one of my bursts of anger last week when I referred to him as the noodly one. I'd apologise for that. I'm just projecting my anger of him being put into storylines over his actual skill and technique of a wrestler, which seem very solid.
That's very good of you. Right. I would like to thank Anchor.fm for hosting the podcast. You can find us on Anchor.fm, Spotify, YouTube, and Twitch, where we are Wrestleopinionated. Over to you, Mr. Mo.
Like I said, 75 days. Mo moment is the fact that Bunny is the TBS champion, not Jade Cargill. Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, if you've enjoyed this and you've been with us, please like, share, and subscribe. Pass it on to your friends. Click the little top bar thing on Spotify. I don't know how that works. There's many different things on YouTube. Engage with us on social media. Do all these things because you're a lovely person. If you don't, I'll come around your house and shit in your garden. Like, share, and subscribe.
Thanks for everyone that's actually watched us.
All that's left to be said is goodbye and good night.